it going? So we're going to talk today about the new songs on the new MANCHU record, Clone of the Universe. We're going to start with actually the song Clone of the Universe. I've had a few people already ask me about the end of the song, which is a completely different tempo from the beginning, and also the timing of some of the fills, and also some of the fills that happen in the beginning of the song, and how to count them. So I figured I'd go over those. Actually, the song was actually sort of written in a backwards fashion. One day at rehearsal, as we were kind of getting towards the end of it, and I think everybody had sort of started putting away their stuff, I was playing some patterns that I had just been kind of fooling around with, and they really weren't anything spectacular. They were just 16th patterns, kind of like if you play on a snare drum and just go like, so like a triplet pattern basically, only I was playing them faster on the toms and the snare, going so it was just a 16th, and you know, nothing crazy, but I just thought it kind of sounded funny, so I was doing that. And Scott, our Scott number one, Scott Hill, our guitar player, singer, Svengali, was like, hey, that sounds really cool, do it again and let's record it. I was like, all right. And so we came back, I think it was a couple days later, to rehearsal or writing sessions, and he had a riff that he wanted to play to it. And it was actually kind of weird because he wanted to play a straight, and then he wanted to play the fills and do it a bunch of times. I'm like, sure, I can play a bunch of fills a bunch of times. But then we had to kind of hone it and go back and forth before recording it. So that's how the end of the song actually came. So the end of the song came first, and then the beginning of the song actually came next, and just really revolved around a really straightforward beat like so they just kind of crafted their riff around that beat. I think I maybe just started playing it, and it just kind of all happened real naturally. So the part that I wanted to go over in the beginning of the song is actually the timing that comes out of the chorus going back into the verse. And it's a little bit tricky. It actually switches from a 4/4 to a very quick 7/8 time, and then back to 4/4. So if you're listening to the chorus is just kind of steaming along at the normal beat, and I'm going to play a little bit of that and then actually show how the fill goes, going back into the verse. And it happens twice, and then we go into the end section of the song, which is really fast, and then the very end of it is just dramatically, you know, pulled out very slowly. So there's a lot going on in this song, so I want to start with the very beginning example of the chorus beat going into the verse again, and the timing and how it works. So this section is just a quick example of how to very fast put two time signatures together and get in and out of something. We're going from the chorus beat, which is played on the ride cymbal and counted 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E, a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E, 1 and drum kind of fills in the spaces where the vocals are, and the eighth note on the beginning of it just mirrors the riff going da da da. You know, very caveman. Got to give power to your Neanderthal drumming instincts and instincts as well. Putting those two together, just kind of a happy accident. We didn't sit down and go like, hey, let's do something that goes 4/4 to 7/8. It just happened that way. But it brings up kind of a fun thing to do, where if you want to try and get in and out of something really fast, it basically sounds like you're cutting the song, cutting and pasting it together there with that little bit of a break. So you can try something very simple in that. You could play 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, examples of different little things that you can pull in that section if you want to use it as a rehearsal thing or just kind of a creative device to try and come up with some new stuff. I wanted to keep it pretty simple in that section because the second section of the song where it speeds up and the fills get really crazy, that was where things were going to kind of go off. So it allowed me to not have to really come up with anything too technical in that sense, and just keep it real basic and make it effective, which I think it did. So we'll go on to the next section, which is the guitar solo fast section with the fast fills. So in the back half of the song, this is kind of what the section that got wrote first, based on a lot of the different fills and stuff that I was doing. The pattern is actually just a 16th note pattern. It's just played really, really fast because the tempo's jacked up. For quarter notes, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 16th notes would actually sound like 30 seconds. They'd be played like. So if you slow that pattern down, it's just a right, left, 16th note with the accents on certain parts of the 16th note. And I'm going to play that, demonstrate that to you, and then I'm going to show you how to use that on the toms in a slower fashion, and then also play the sped up version. One thing I didn't do is I didn't double any strokes on this, and I was sort of contemplating using the bass drum to keep my timing all the way through it, because with the stuff going so fast, I wanted to make sure I got in and got out right. But I just went ahead and just let the toms just kind of do their thing, and let the snare drum, be sort of the guiding voice and follow the accents, because I knew that I could key into the accent being. And that's really what the basis of it was against the time. And so just hearing that in my head, it allowed me just to kind of play whatever I wanted to. I didn't double any strokes, but I am going to put an example. You'll see where there are a couple of double strokes that you could do too if you wanted to try this fill. And then on the end of it, I wasn't doing blast beats on the cymbals. What I was trying to do is I was trying to carry quarter notes against the 16ths and go. As always, trying to strengthen the left hand, but in some of them I ended up mirroring everything else. So in some of them there are straight 16ths on both the right and left hand together, and some of them there aren't. Some of them there's just straight quarters and then 16ths with the left hand. So I was really kind of doing it because at that point in the song it's pretty furious, and at that point as much of a break as you can give your hands, the better. So I was just trying to switch it off and, at the same time, give my hands a break and also, stay creative with it and stay motivated. So here's some of the slow examples. Hope you enjoy them. And then the full version is played at the end. And check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And